What is the disease called seeking? Oh, just some neuroses at work. Well, so it's really common, right? It's almost inevitable. We have an experience. And if you're like me, that experience was so far from my ordinary state of consciousness that it just rocked my world. So it felt like the distance between heaven and hell. I don't know what the biblical hell is like. I've never been there. But the difference between night and day in terms of feeling. And at this point, there's probably still plenty of ego left, right? Plenty of ego after a sort of initial awakening experience like that. And what do the egos know how to do? We know how to seek. And so, you want something, go and get it. So that's what we do. We start looking for something outside of ourselves. Bear with me here. Sounds crazy. At its best, seeking is like maybe just some, information seeking, like what was that thing? What the heck just happened to me? And at its worst, it's not dissimilar to addiction. We're just sort of compulsively looking for that feeling that we had, because it tends to feel like reality tends to feel pretty blissful. And there are spiritual states, experiences out there which can offer kinds of bliss, and so sometimes we'll get hooked on those in the process of seeking. And we start to lose sight of what is the source of all this, right? And it's confusing. Like, the whole thing is just confusing as hell to our mind, to our ego. It just doesn't make any sense, right? Like, ego mind was not there. Just not there. So our sort of conditioned sense of ourself was just gone. And And there was all this bliss. And then we go on a search with the thing that wasn't there to find the place where it isn't. And yeah, so inevitably we will feel a state of dis-ease as long as we are seeking. It's the seeking is creating the dis-ease. And so what do you do with a disease? You try and get over it as quickly as possible. And how do you do that? Well, probably one of the most helpful things is to realize, but only over and over and over again, as many times as one must, to realize that what one is seeking is already here. So the old A to Z description of awakening, we go from A to Z in a flash. And then seemingly kind of fall out of that state. Not a state, but we sort of fall out of that experiencing whatever that experiencing you want to call that awakeness. We seem to fall out of it. And then we start to traverse this territory from A to Z again. Much more slowly, thoroughly. And the important thing, the point, I'm getting to it. Some part of us always just after that just lives at Z. And we don't have to go anywhere to experience it. Most of the time, we dismiss it because it seems to be really quiet. Just by comparison to the experience. So the most common thing, right, is just it's like, well, wait, that part, that little quiet thing, that Z thing, it's too quiet. That's not the experience I was having before. That's not what my awakening. Yeah. It's quiet because the volume got turned back up on the ego, the neurotic self, the mind, whatever you want to call it. That's why it seems quiet. In fact, quietness is kind of its nature. So instead of dismissing I'm just going to say part of ourselves that is always at Z, has always been at Z, and just stays at Z. Instead of dismissing it and saying, well, that's not what I felt. That's just like the tiniest piece of what I felt. If we don't dismiss it and instead allow ourselves to give just a little attention to it. Oh yeah, it's still here. It's still here. And then we start to go seeking for something, right? And then it's still here. It hasn't gone anywhere. I don't have to seek it because it's right here, right now. This practice, it just sucks the juice right out of seeking. Because every time you do it, you're experiencing, you're teaching your system, oh wait, I don't have to go anywhere to be what I am. What I am is already here. I don't have to go looking for an experience. That experience hasn't left. And maybe there's still some whole voice in your head that's like, yeah, but it's not the same experience. It's not, I'm smart. I know the difference. And it's just not the same. And there is an element of truth in that, right? And it's the answer is a little disappointingly mundane. And it's just that, like the first taste of reality is not exactly what living in reality feels like. And there's a couple reasons for that, right? Like one of them is just like, clearly I'm a gradual path kind of guy. Not that it can't be sudden, but, my path has been gradual. Wow. So, that first taste, I was newly sober in my first year of sobriety. Like, my shit was not together. Like, just having a good day, a decent day, where like something didn't go wrong. That was a big deal. And so to be transported from that, my baseline at that point would probably be like a well-functioning person's worst fucking day that they had in years. And so going from hell, it was the hell I lived in and the hell I was used to, heaven is, kind of an extraordinary leap. Whereas, many, many years of work and, releasing a lot of old material, learning some tools for living, many, many years of practice later, like my baseline has changed. And so, in some ways, hell is not quite as hellish. And, just going to heaven, it's like, oh, it's not such a big deal. It's, heaven's no longer heaven. Heaven is now just what feels natural, right? So if you're looking for that first taste, good luck. Because that is pure addict behavior. Right? The first time I got drunk, that was also very heavenly for me. And I chased that first drunk for many, many years. So, you don't get to have the first experience again. Just some time and space bullshit. Sorry. But you can pay attention, give some attention to that part of you that still at Z. It's quiet. Don't expect it to be loud. You had the loud experience, and now it's going to be probably mostly quiet experiences. You might have the occasional loud experience, but if you go looking for them, it's on your head. But mostly what this practice of, is this thing I'm about to seek, is it not already here? And I'll borrow this shamelessly from Adyashanti because it's great. It's a great exercise. Just kills the seeker. Just stops the seeker dead in his tracks. You do it long enough. because why seek for something that's already here? And we can know that mentally, but we have to experience it many, many times, probably, to really get it into the system, get it to penetrate. Unlearn that old neurotic behavior of, got to find it outside of myself. And if I remembered where we began, maybe I'd tie this up neatly, but I don't. Oh, maybe I do. It was the disease of seeking, right? The antidote to seeking is to realize experientially that what we're looking for is already here. And I guarantee you, it won't be here in the quantity or in the the dose strength that your ego would like. But it's still here, nevertheless. So, whether you stay with it or not, that's on you. But just stay with it for a little bit. Oh, that? Yeah, that. That little thing? I'm looking for the big thing. Yeah, that. Just stay. Linger a little while. Tarry. I promise it's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere. Maybe that seeker energy is strong. Maybe. I don't know. Flap your arms around. Like, smack some pillows. And, maybe this talk is totally stupid, Maybe you're like me, right? You just gotta seek anyways. Doesn't matter. You're just gonna do what you're gonna do. Great, do it. Do it all the way. And when you're ready, just come back to that quiet thing. It'll be there. It's right here. It's never left. I could say some real cliche things. It's what's looking out of your eyes. It's what's hearing. You know what it is. It's different from that neurotic thing. It's not clamoring for your attention. It's okay. You get to choose. You get to choose to put your attention here, if that's what you want to do. Yeah, it's a paradox. You still get to choose. You can feel the difference, right? Just give that seeker a little energy internally. Just yeah. What's it feel like when you give it that attention? This is. We gotta go get the thing. We gotta go do the thing. We gotta find that thing I'm missing. We gotta find the missing thing. Just give it a little attention, a little juice. What do you feel in your body when you do that? Does it feel good? Now try. We're just doing an experiment here. Now try giving the quiet thing a little attention. Just keep your attention there for a little bit. What do you feel in your body, in your heart, when you do that? Is there a lesson in there, a realization for you? Oh, now we can combine techniques. Yeah, there is. Just breathe. Breathe that lesson in. And with that out breath, send that lesson, that knowing, into your system. Let it penetrate into your heart. Let it penetrate into that cloud of being Just breathe that realization, that knowing in, and exhale, send the breath throughout your system. Is it starting to recede? Just you're allowed to bring your attention back to that quiet thing. Maybe the results of this experiment are going to need time and practice to really penetrate the system. Yeah, so this is what I mean by experiential learning. So practicing in such a way that we have the experience and our system learns a lesson which might be contrary to lessons we've been taught throughout life about how we work, how the world works. There's a certain amount of rewiring that just kind of happens. And then there's rewiring that we get to choose and do. Imagine if the whole world and all the people in it weren't looking quite so hard for something outside of them to fix them, make them feel complete, better. Be a very different world, wouldn't it? Much less destructive. A lot more time and energy on our hands. And it all starts here with you right now. It's the only time in which to practice the only time to speak. It's the only time to listen. It's the only time to act. So, yeah, that seeker energy, it's no more or less neurotic than someone seeking a better, faster car, a bigger house, more money in the bank, a hotter girlfriend or boyfriend. It's the same energy. So the only relevant question is, what's it doing in your life right now? And is what you're looking for not already present inside?